Hello, and welcome to Health Fit, the healthy lifestyle show. In the film world, action is the start of a journey, and that's a wrap means a successful conclusion. In the fitness world, action gives you the chance to start your journey, but you never truly wrap it up because progress is never ending. Join us for a journey this episode. We will look at a short dynamic stretching segment, welcome a special guest to share their favorite recipe in the Health Fit kitchen, and conclude with a special guest interview. Also, Mika will share advice on how to fight the avoidable workout plateau as we continue to challenge ourselves in our individual Health Fit journeys. We've emphasized the importance of stretching post-workout in order to increase your range of motion and improve flexibility. However, today we'll look at the type of stretching you can do before working out. Dynamic stretching is different from static stretching because it involves movement, which also serves to warm you up. Let's look at different dynamic stretches, starting with some lunges. So not only are we going to do lunges, but we're going to do lunges with a rotation. Let's go ahead and start on the right leg. We will step forward and rotate on the side that we're stepping with. And again, switching sides, we're gonna rotate and come back up. Again, as you noticed, I rotated on the side that I was stepping with. You can go ahead and do this for about 10 to 12 repetitions on each leg. Next up, let's look at some walking knee to chest. So we're gonna start with our right leg again, and we're just gonna bring up right leg up, knee to chest on the left, and on the right, left, and right. Good, good. This is gonna serve to stretch out those hip flexors and your hamstrings as well. Go ahead and perform about 10 to 12 again on each side. You can also alternate with straight leg kicks. So for this one, you don't actually have to walk. You can just stay in one place, and you're going to kick 1, kick 2, 3, and 4. And continue until you feel like you've properly stretched out. As you noticed, I matched the opposite. So right with left and left with right. Next up, let's check out a Spider-Man. This time we're gonna go on the floor, and this can be a little bit trickier or more advanced just because it's also a bit of a workout. It's gonna target your core. So starting on the floor in a plank, we're gonna move forward and come down into a push-up. Move forward, come down. Again, change sides and come down. Again, as you noticed, I used opposites. So right with left with right. You can also use do a little bit of a variation on the Spider-Man. If you can't do the push-up, you can do more of a stretch. So starting on all fours instead, is gonna bring the right forward and stretch, and then stretch out, switch sides, and stretch. It's a really deep lunge, again, targeting your hip flexors. There we go. Next up, let's focus on the upper body and how we can stretch that part out before we work out. Starting with hand to toe swings. We're gonna do opposites again. It's gonna help stretch your back as well. So we're gonna go down 1, to the right, left, and right. And you can continue this again for 30 seconds, a minute, 10 to 12 repetitions, whatever feels good for you. Next up, let's look at arm crossovers. We're just gonna exactly do what the title implies, is cross over our arms, like this. Also, feel free to change it up by flipping your palms over, facing up, and cross over again. Nice. Last but not least, super simple. You'd be shocked. Arm circles. Go right, 1, 2, go back for 2. Switch it up, making sure we're nice and even, balanced on each side with our reps. And then let's try both together. and move it back. Definitely increase your repetitions. This is just an example. And these are just 5 examples of dynamic stretching that you can do before working out. Don't forget that dynamic stretching is part of your warm-up, which can be personalized to the muscle group you plan on working out. Thanks for catching us today, and stay tuned for the Health Fit Kitchen. Hello, and welcome to the Health Fit Kitchen. As y'all know, I love peanut butter. I'm so excited to talk about it more and how you can make it at home from scratch. Not only that, but since we are making it from scratch, we can add anything we want to. In this case, I'll be adding some protein, cocoa, and stevia for flavor. So, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, this is a food processor, all right? This is what we'll be using to make our peanut butter with. So go ahead, add all of your peanuts, pretty easy. So we're gonna start with just blending the peanuts. First, we wanna get a really nice consistency with just plain peanut butter. So you'll notice that the more we grind it, the more it's going to start sticking together. So you are going to have to open it up a couple of times and just push those the peanuts back down because they're not quite where they need to be. You'll see later on once we get that really perfect consistency, very much like peanut butter. So let's give it another go. All right, and the closer it gets to that consistency, the more you're going to have to open it back up and push those peanuts back down. So, let's try it again. All right, I know that took a little while, but I'm just gonna show you real quick what this is supposed to look like. There it is. All right, so you can see it is pretty consistent. It looks pretty good. Okay, towards the end, once it starts getting ready, it's gonna get like really lumpy in there, and that's fine. That's what it's supposed to look like. So now we're gonna go ahead and add our protein in there because the only thing that's better than peanut butter is peanut butter with protein. Add that stevia. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of it just because I like the sweetness. This is something a little different, actually. So I'm gonna put a little bit of coconut oil just because it's gonna help help the blender blend those dry ingredients into the peanut butter. So you can use any oil you want, really, but I like to go for some coconut oil because it's pretty much flavorless. You can't really taste the coconut. And then I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon of cocoa, which is, trust me, it's enough to give it a nice chocolate flavor. Looks good. All right, this time it won't take nearly as long. So let's blend it up. Alrighty, it looks like it is done. Ooh, nice. And the reason it's a little darker is because it does have that cocoa in there. So this is what it's looking at the end. And I am going to give it a try just because I can't resist it. Yeah, perfect. This is the way it should be. You should totally try putting this on your oatmeal, and your shakes, on toast, and your PB&Js, basically anything that you like to eat. So, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because Mika is next.
Hey there, this is Mika Cherfan keeping you updated with health info and tips to support your active lifestyle. Today we're going the extra mile in our journey toward fitness as we discuss what it takes to overcome a plateau. You probably know that, as with many things, working out doesn't always result in a perfect linear relationship between exercise and outcomes. During our journey, we face many obstacles that we must overcome, and that pesky plateau always seems to strike when we least expect it. So what can you do to keep seeing improvements when it feels like nothing is doing the trick? Well, there are actually a lot of things you can do. But first, you must understand why workout plateaus occur. And the answer can be summed up by one well-known scientific principle called the general adaptation syndrome. This principle is used to describe how we respond to stressors and is broken down into 3 predictable stages. The first is called the alarm stage. This is the time when our bodies are excited and begin undergoing rapid physiological responses like hormone release to combat the stressful effects of exercise. The second stage is the resistance stage. This is the way your body responds and recovers from the alarming stress of stage 1. During this stage, your body adapts to become more resilient and efficient in an effort to protect itself from similar damage in the future. A weightlifter, for example, would develop more muscle fibers in response to training so that the next time they encounter the stress of their lifting, their muscles will be better prepared for the task at hand. The third and final stage is the exhaustion stage. This stage is a response to overtraining or inadequate recovery and should be avoided at all costs. It's basically when your body can't recover quickly enough to prepare itself for another bout of stress without becoming excessively damaged. Now, a plateau occurs during the resistance stage when your body is thoroughly adjusted to the stress you've been placing on it regularly. You can think of it as an exercise tolerance in a way. The more you repeat the same exercise, the less effective that exercise will be at placing stress on your body. And without additional stress to overcome, your body sees no need to further adapt. This is why the same routine that kicked your butt the first time you did it may barely make you sweat now. But to push past this plateau and achieve further adaptations, you must simply apply additional stress. And luckily, there are countless fun and creative ways to do this. Some of the simplest ways are to increase your workout in length or difficulty. So if you typically run for 15 minutes, shoot for 20. If you're used to curling 60 pounds, try 70, or do a few extra reps with the same weight. You can also change up the style of your workout by supersetting the exercises you usually do, or doing a circuit training instead of sticking with the traditional 4-set system. Still feeling stuck? Try some power workouts like box jumps instead of weighted squats to increase the speed associated with your strength. If you're used to working out on machines, try switching to free weights or further challenge yourself by using a balance pad or doing exercises on one leg. Increasing your time under tension is also an interesting challenge, so try holding each rep at its peak for about 3 seconds instead of going straight back to the starting point. Also, remember to be careful when experimenting with these. It's ideal to adjust about 1 or 2 variables at a time in order to avoid overtraining. So push yourself, but don't get carried away. If you are experiencing a workout plateau, know that it is an inevitable step in the process of reaching your goals. We know it can be discouraging to say the least, but using these tips to push yourself beyond the range of stress you're used to will help you get back on track for your goals. Thanks for tuning in today, and don't forget to stay active.
Hey there! Our guest today found her way to health on her own and since then has become very passionate about fitness and nutrition. She transformed her life for the better and is here today to share her story. Let's welcome Dehacia Brad. Hi. Or just D, correct?
Yeah, let's go with D.
Great. Well, hello, D, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So, I understand that, as I mentioned, you were able to achieve a great transformation within your health, and you made some changes within that aspect of your life. So tell me about this transformation.
Well, it all started the semester before I graduated, and it was just one of those things where, like, I was a little overweight at the time, but that wasn't just the main factor. I had kidney stones, and I had to get surgery for it because of how bad my diet was. And
at such a young age.
Yeah, that's literally what my doctor said. He was like, "You're literally my youngest patient in history I've ever had to have kidney stones." And hearing that, I just was like, wow, you know, I'm this young and I have kidney stones. And so I just really wanted to do something because I just wasn't happy, you know, about where I was at the time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I understand. So how do you compare and contrast your lifestyle in regard to nutrition and exercise prior to deciding to make this transformation into now?
Well, it's been a drastic change because I don't eat at all what I ate in the past.
Such as what was that?
A lot of processed food, fast food, things like that. I worked at a Taco Bell during my undergrad, and that was what I ate. That's literally what I ate every day. Because I mean, it was free, but now I said we're real people, so you want to put, you know, healthy real food in your body, not processed junk and all that. So I just really cut out a lot of processed food, junk food, snacks and things like that. And it's very much so a raw diet, just like fruits and vegetables and things like that, and juicing, and for the most part, yeah.
What about exercise?
Typically exercise about 4 to 5 times a week. A lot of cardio. I love to go to Zumba on Wednesdays. And I do weights maybe twice a week.
Okay.
But yeah, exercise is definitely a big part of it.
Do you have a favorite form of exercise? What do you particularly enjoy the most?
For me, it was cardio because it's relaxing too, because I love to run. So I like to get as much cardio in as possible, and walking on incline, things like that. But
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. Do you like to go out in nature, hiking?
Yeah, I love to hike. And for a lot of people, it's like, make it fun. You know, you have to make it your own. You don't want to just be stuck in the gym a lot of the time because it gets boring and you feel like, I have to go to the gym, you know? So you want to make it fun. So I do like to hike and just go to the trail and go to the greenway and things like that. So,
yeah, for sure. So what keeps you motivated to continue on this new and perhaps better way of living?
Well, just knowing the end result. Before going into this transformation, I did a lot of research. And again, going back to the kidney stones, it was really like scary to hear. But it's like, I mean, I think it just goes along the lines of when you know better, you do better. And it's like you kind of scare yourself because you know all this stuff and you're like, you just can't go back because you know what could come from it. So that, I guess that's what really motivates me for the most part. And just really just knowing how I felt at that time. And I just feel so much better. And I know this is so cliche, but I really feel like I haven't been sick in forever, knocks on wood.
Good.
And I don't deal with inflammation as much in my legs and things like that. So I just feel like overall, I can feel that I've done better. So I just really like, that.
Was it easy to, was it easy to go through this transformation?
Not at all.
Not at all? Did
Not
you
at
find
all.
yourself maybe starting and then reverting back to the old habits and then starting again and going back and forth until you really just made a decision and stuck with it?
Yeah, honestly, because I know you have a cheat day, but sometimes in the beginning when I wasn't as strong as I was, I would have a cheat week and maybe a cheat month,
goodness.
you know?
Yeah, I've been there
Especially
too.
when vacations come in, but it's like, I think you just have to get to a point where you're like, this is what I want, you know? So I'm gonna stick to it, but it definitely was not easy because it's like you're tempted a lot. And when it comes to like eating healthy and stuff, it's kind of like you have to plan for it. And, when you're out and about, it's just so much temptation. So yeah, it definitely wasn't easy, but it was worth it. So,
So did it eventually get easier though?
Yeah, it took some time.
It took some time.
Definitely, because I wasn't a cooker either, So I was like trying these new recipes, like making it fun, So it's all these things, and at first, it just seems so challenging because it seems like a lot. But once you get in your groove, because you have to figure out what works for you, and it flows, So.
Do you have a favorite meal you like to prepare?
When I ate meat, it was always my go-to was baked chicken or baked fish with vegetables on the side. But I'm kind of doing like the vegetarian route right now.
Is there a particular reason why you've picked the vegetarian route versus meat?
Yeah, I was studying the alkaline diet and how it keeps disease from your body. So I've been trying to just mainly eat raw. So lots of nuts, lots of veggie, really, really green. And juicing a lot, and I like it. I feel really light, and so
during the time of your transformation, when you were trying new things, did you have a particular favorite diet that you tried that really worked for you?
Yeah, I would start with like a green smoothie in the morning and lots of water. And so typically what I did, I made sure I ate 5 times a day. And it's weird because people think you don't eat a lot. I don't even like to say diet, but you really do because you eat. Well, I ate every 3 hours to like speed my metabolism up, and so it would just be like a smoothie, a snack, maybe on vegetables or fruit, and like chicken breast and broccoli. That was all I ate. I can't even eat it anymore because it's literally all I ate, and sweet potatoes because it's like the superfood and it's all I would indulge in if I wanted something sweet.
Yeah.
And pretty much from there it would just be like fruits and vegetables.
That's a good little trick. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. So, how do you think that this transformation that you've been able to maintain, how do you think it will impact your future health?
I really think it's gonna play a huge part because, like I said, for the most part, like with my inflammation, because I suffer a little bit from arthritis in my trillion days, and I haven't had any issues. So I feel like, as you get older, you get crackly and all that stuff. So I feel like it's gonna help me as I get older with my bones and things like that, and I feel like it's just gonna help me feel better, but it's like along the lines of like getting sick and things like that in elderly age. I know this sounds extreme, but that's really what I believe and that's what I feel because I've witnessed it and that's how I feel now. So yeah.
And with our final question, because there are a lot of people out there who do want to make a transformation, just like you were able to. So, and because you've gone down this road before, what kind of advice would you give someone who does want to make a change but doesn't know where to start? What would you say to that person?
I would definitely say it's not a one-size-fits-all, because I feel like you get discouraged when you look at that person or that person, and you really just have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And don't go in it with like, I have to do this. Like, get to the point where you want to and you just want to, and it makes you feel better, and so just do it, really. Honestly, you just have to start and just stick to it. Like, find something that works for you and just stick to it.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now, before we end it, I'm gonna ask the question one more time just because you touched your necklace. So I'm just gonna go from the exact same spot.
Already.
You're good, you're good.
Very
So just because you've gone through this journey before, this transformation, there's so many other people out there who also want to go through that same transformation. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's not a problem with the mic. They just want me to restart the question. Since so many other people out there are looking to go through the same kind of transformation that you went through, but don't really know where to start, what kind of advice would you give them?
I really would just tell them it's not a one-size-fits-all. Find a routine that works for you. And don't get discouraged about people who've been doing it for a while and they just have these miraculous results,
Yes.
Just find something that you enjoy and stick to it. Honestly, you just have to start and just stick to it.
Something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about here at Health Fit, finding the things that make you happy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching. There you go, another inspiring story by someone who made a decision and stuck with it. So thank you to Haisha, again, Dee, for speaking today and sharing. And again, thank you guys for watching our final episode on Season 3. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at The Health Fit Show for more information. My name is Joanna, and we are Health Fit. Stay active.